Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know it's the neighborhood and my name is Nicole and I have a new story. I hope it's gonna be something you like. By the way, thank you for your likes, and please, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, share. This is a place where we share stories of the neighborhood. We talk about people, we talk about life, we learn some stories here and there, and sometimes we laugh. I don't know, maybe soon we will have a very funny story to tell. Anyways, the story I have today is one of the favorite stories my mom used to tell me about our neighborhood. You can call it, how do you call it? You can call it One Journey and Four Braids. I don't know. Come on, give me comments. Tell me how would you call this story? I hope at the end of this story you will like it. And you share with a friend, share with a member of the family, subscribe, and I think I said that a few minutes ago. Anyways, let's jump right into it. So, long time ago, way before I was born, my mom had this neighbor when she was still young. The neighbor was called Thomas. Thomas was freshly married, had just gotten married to his wife Lily, and as you know it, long time ago, people would just leave one space to go to another to look for a job. Actually, I think it's something that still happens. People just leave one place to go get jobs, try to feed their family and stuff. I know my dad used to do it when we were younger. He would go work someplace and would come back home in the weekends, or sometimes he would stay there for a while. But anyways, in those times, in those long times ago, they didn't have cars, so they would go for ages before they would come home. So this man Thomas, after he just freshly got married, he left his wife and he went to look for a job, for a better life, to see if he can make things right for his home. Now, as life would have it, he went for a long time. He went for 20 years. He stayed in a different country for 20 years, worked for this old man. For 20 years, he was like his son. He loved him. They had shared great memories. But the journey came to an end and Thomas had to go back to his family. So he told his master, you know what, I think I have done my work. It's time I retire. I go back to my wife and I see what we can do with life from here. I mean, I don't know why he was taking to stay away that long. Don't judge him. I didn't judge him when the story was told to me, so let's go with that. Anyways, the old man called him this evening when he was ready to leave the next day. He told him, I want to give you two choices. Do you want me to give you your money, the salary you worked for, or I give you advisors? I'll give you 3 advice, or I give you your salary. 20 years salary and 3 advice. The man thought, and unlike me, because let's be sure, me, I would say, give me my money. Let's meet when we'll meet. This guy said, you know what? For the time we've been together, I've come to realize that every time you give me advices, they give me more money than I thought I would have. They give me more treasure than I thought I can even think about. So instead of paying me money, give me the 3 advices. Whatever that choices was, let's leave it to him. Anyway, the man gave him 3 advice. The first one he gave him, he said, let's see if I remember it well. He said, never take any shortcuts. That was his first advice. If you have your way to go, just go, choose the long way and not the short one. The second advice he gave him, never mind things that do not belong to you. Sometimes noise can cause you trouble. Only mind your own business. When something happens and it doesn't concern you, do not look into it. Do not be curious about things that do not belong to you. And the third advice he gave him was, never react in anger. Always think to calm down before you do something. So after the 3 advice, the 2 men went to bed to sleep. The next morning, the old man, who's the master, gave Thomas 4 bread. He told him, these 3 you can eat on your journey, but this last bread, you will eat it only when you get home and when you're with your wife. This one, you don't touch it until you get home, okay? So that was the gift he gave him, the 4 bread. and he was set for his journey. There you go, Thomas, and as you might already know, there was no car, so there was no short trip. It was a long trip to go home. So he went away, and as he's leaving the town where he was working, he meets with his childhood friend, Levi. Levi tells him, you know what, we're all going home. I know this shortcut. Instead of taking 2 days trip, I think it was 3 days trip, you will have to just take 1 day and a half and we will be home. Why should you go to the long journey instead of going to the short one? Thomas, when he was ready to go with him, Thomas was like, I remember what the old man told me. Never take shortcuts or you will end up in trouble. So he told Levi, you know what, let's meet home. This is the long journey. This is the only journey I know. I will take this path and we will meet home. When you get there, say hello to my wife and tell her I'm coming. So Levi and another group of people who had heard about the shortcut, they just went to the shortcut, and Thomas just went to the long journey with some other friends. He went with some other 3 friends actually. 3 other people, they went together. So they left that journey, and at night they sit together. He opened his first bread and shared it with his friend. They ate. The next day they woke up, they went for a long journey again. Of course, they had to go through a lot of sun, traveling mountains by foot. I'm guessing those days were not good days. Thank God for cars and planes. Don't know what I would do in his place. Anyways, the next night when they reached the next place they reached, it was night, and they reached the city, and they were received by this woman. The woman gave them a room because they had to spend the night so they can leave the next day. Of course, when you're living through forests and stuff, you do not want to travel at night. There are creepy creatures, lions, for example, and hyenas and other creatures. I don't know what creatures you have in the forest in your country, but I'm guessing those days there were plenty. So the woman told them, this is the key, lock yourself up, and tomorrow you can leave. So they stayed there that night. They shared the second bread. Together they ate. He was having fun. And in the middle of the night, somewhere around midnight, they heard a commotion. There was a lot of noise outside. A lot of, people were fighting or something. They couldn't understand what's going on. So his 2 companions said, let's go check it out. Maybe you can help. Maybe the woman has trouble. Let's go check it out. They're all young men. They're all full of strength. They want to go out and see what they can do. As soon as they get up, Thomas remembers what the men said. If it doesn't concern you, don't be curious. Only mind the things that are your own to mind. Then he told his companion, you know what? I don't think we should go. I think we should stay here. But his companion was stubborn. They left. And he went back to sleep. Next morning when he wakes up, his companions are not back yet. The woman comes to the house and she's like, you still here? He's like, I am. How are you still here? He's like, my neighbors, my companion, they went outside to just help with the commotion and they didn't come back. She said, who taught you not to go outside when you hear noise? He's like, my master said I shouldn't be curious about things that do not concern me. And she said, you're a very wise man. Guess why? It turned out at night there will be some preacher that would come and create some sort of noises, and thousands of guests have stayed in that house, and only Thomas had left the next morning. All of them would go outside to check it out, and they never returned. Whew. That was a bummer. Anyways, Thomas still had a journey to go home. And this time, it's only 1 day left, so he'll get home fast. He was so excited. So he goes to the road, he goes fast, he travels, he runs in, because it's the last day. He wants to check in first early, as soon as he can, and then he gets there at night. At night time, as he's coming through the forest, he sees his wife at the door with the light open, and she's smiling. When this other man, this tall man, gigantic, who was wearing, I don't know, he was carrying, I think, wood, he's coming through, And the wife welcomed him with an embrace. She's hugging him, holding him with a lot of affection. Thomas was furious. He's like, what? I went away for 20 years to work for this woman? And what does she do? She gets another husband? His first reaction was, I should get inside the house, because they had gone in the house and closed the door and turned off the light. So his first reaction was, I should go in the house, kill them both. As his rage was boiling and he was going to go, he remembered the last advice the man told him. The man told him what? Do not make decisions in anger. So he told himself, you know what, I'll cool off. And in the morning, I will know what to do. So that last night, he sat near his home in a small bush. He ate his third bread and slept it off. The next morning, Thomas woke up. He's like, you know what? Never mind. I'll just get in the house that she knows that I came. I'll tell her how disappointed I am, that I went to travel, I went to work for so long. I sacrificed all my youth strength so I can take care of her, so we can share life and good fortune together. And then she goes and does something that is wrong. I'll just tell her I'm disappointed, and then I'll go back to my master. Anyway, he still has place for me. So Thomas goes, he knocks on the door very early in the morning, because he was sure that they didn't leave. The two people, the man and his wife, were still in the house. So he woke up, he goes, he knocks. The wife opens the door and she saw her husband. She cried. She was full of emotion, so happy to see him. But the man was like, I'm not having this. Sit down, let's talk. The woman is confused. What happened? It's like, why would you cheat on me? She's like, well, what now? I saw you last night with the man who came and you hugged him, and he was all in and all ranting. As he's ranting, he sees this young man coming out. He's the split picture, like the copy paste. It's like they just printed his face on him. The woman say, no, this is your son. I just found out I was pregnant a little after you left. I didn't want to tell you so you didn't have to turn around, but I've been caring for him. I've been taking care of him while you were away, and we were both waiting for you to come home. The shock of Thomas. He's like, imagine if I'd come last night. I would have killed my wife and my own child. He was so grateful for the advice of the man. So he called his wife. He met his child and they embraced. They were happy that they had been reunited. It was happy and fun. Then they opened the last bread. What do you know? All the salary he was expecting, all his money and bonuses and even extra, the old man had given him so much money that he could not have dreamed of. And they had all that to share with him and his family. Now you would ask me, what happened to his friend, the one who left? Of course, that's the second question he asked after he had figured out that his wife was not cheating. Turned out, his friend and all the team that were together, Levi, when they went through the shortcut, they met with a group of bandits that were beaten, and Levi lost his life. What do we learn from this? I think when my mom told me this story, I was like, this is curious. Never take shortcut in life. Sometimes shortcut can be the longest journey you'll have to take. You'll have to fix a lot of things that you didn't know you will need to fix. You will break a lot of things you didn't need to break. The long path looked difficult, but it is always rewarding. It comes with a lot of learning, with a lot of character building, and you get to where you need to go. Second advice, don't be a busybody. You don't know the full story. You don't know what's going on in people's life, and you don't need to poke into their lives. Mind your business. Yes, mind your business. your money, build your happiness, do what you need to do for you. It doesn't matter if the neighbor looks happy. These days, social media has a lot of filters. You do not know what's going on behind that. Don't wish to be like other people. Don't be the one going around gossiping about what people did, what people say. When you don't know the full story, you don't need to be curious about it. Mind your business. And the last one, that one hit a bit close to home. Do not react in anger. I don't know about you, but I have found myself in places where I would say things out of rage, but I couldn't take it back. When you do things in anger, you're just destroying. Calm down. Breathe. Reconcile with yourself. And if you need to go and face the issue again, go there with a cold mind. Give yourself time to process so you can have objectiveness when you're doing that. I hope we learned something from the story. Anyways, I love you. Like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. I would like to hear from you. In the meantime, see you next time. Welcome to my neighborhood. Bye-bye.